Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ Marino and we have a movie review today. I'm going to be diving into one of the most insane, gross, shocking movies I've seen in quite some time. I'm talking about Titane. When I first saw Martyrs all the way in 2008, I fell in love with French horror films, especially French extreme films. I love movies that make me go, oh my goodness, what did I just see? I love to be utterly shocked and disturbed. So a couple years ago, a movie called Raw came out, and I saw it, and I was just like, this is weird, it's a little over the top, but I wanted more. Well, same director said, hey, you wanted more? I got more, because Titane is one of the craziest, sickest, funnest, great, I had such a good time watching this. I sat there and just let this movie punch me in the face multiple times, and then it ran me over with a car, probably the same car this woman had sex with. Yeah, if you had not heard anything about this movie, it is an absolute shocking masterpiece that came out of France this year. It won the Palme d'Or. It's like taking over the film industry. Do I think this is gonna make it to the Oscars? No, this is way too weird. The Oscars gonna clutch their pearls at a woman having sex with a car and then getting, to be a serial killer and then maybe doing some other stuff and maybe doing some other stuff. Yeah, this movie has a jam-packed aliveness, and we will break it all down with spoilers in a bit, but I have to kind of just introduce you, get you used to this review, because if you're not aware of this movie, Julia Ducournau, I think her last name is. She's French. I suck with French names. I'm so sorry. But yes, Julia said, hey, you're going to get an extreme film. I just recently talked about extreme cinema making a return with VHS 94. Yeah, Titane said, that's extreme. I'll show you extreme. Do you want full metal madness? Do you want a female serial killer? Do you want a baby born with a spine made out of titanium? I gotcha. I have it. This movie is bonkers, and I absolutely love it. So Titane follows a woman named Alexia. She had a very traumatic thing happen to her when she was little, so she has a metal plate in her head. That seems to make her a bit wackadoo. Since that moment, she is also a serial killer. She works at these bro-ish man car shows where she kind of shows off her stuff and it kind of lures these men in just to do some things. It's not just men, she kills women as well. She kills everybody. She's down to do what she needs to do. And okay, so she is a bit weird. We're getting used to her, and then we see her have sex with a car. It's a very kind of magic realism scene where I'm just like, okay, we're gonna be thinking where she's doing this car sex scene, but she's probably doing something else. No, the car turns on by itself. The car gets very turned on, enough to maybe get her pregnant? Yes, this woman who is a serial killer with a metal plate in her head ends up pregnant by what she thinks is a car. And I'm like, oh my god, I felt like I was running a marathon up until this point. I'm like, how did we get here? And then it gets crazier when she tries to go into hiding. She's done her serial killer thing, and as most of them do, they get caught. So she goes into hiding, starts living her life as this boy who was missing, and then kind of tricks his father named Vincent into thinking that she is the boy. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. And Vincent is an odd character because he seems to kind of ignore the blatantness that yeah, this girl doesn't look like your son. She has a female body, which he ends up finding out. But, one of those desperate fathers. I understood why he kind of ignored it. I wish she wasn't such a psychopath so they can, kind of get on a little bit better. But yeah, she kind of gives him something he needs. And I actually was like, this movie has a bit more heart and soul to it as well. So she meets Vincent and she just decides to go about her life and try to hide this pregnancy. Up until the pregnancy, basically just it's over for her. Once she tries to give birth to this baby, she can't. And leading up to it, she's starting to realize how metal her body's getting. And I'm not talking about heavy metal, I'm talking about legit metal. I mean, there is she thinks what would be coming out is breast milk, but it's motor oil. Then she gives birth to the baby and has a metal spine, and Vincent has to take care of the baby. And I'm like, yeah, you must really be down to have a family, because that is pretty banana cuckoo pants to just accept it. This movie is just bananas. I loved it, but I'm like going through this plot to try to break it down to you guys and going, I really did watch this whole ass movie where all of this happened. And how did I just accept it? How is this getting released to the mainstream? This reminds me of a movie I would have seen years ago, like with 5 friends, and no one would have known about it. But wow, this won the Palme d'Or. This is getting massive attention. I am happy to see that Titane is having its time in the sun. Would I recommend this movie for people? Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit difficult. Yes, it is an extreme film, but there is more entertaining moments. Like, it has a funnier punch to it. I think the filmmaking is insane. That score, the cinematography, the overall aesthetic of the film, I absolutely think is great. So yeah, this does come with a recommendation, but like I did with VHS 94, if extreme horror, if weird, shocking movies are not your thing, maybe avoid this. Like, this is one that I would definitely suggest, because I've seen some movies that are pure trash that I love, that are just low-budget, schlocky, gross movies, and they're a little bit harder to recommend because the production quality isn't up. Not with this movie. This movie looks, sounds, and feels good. Even if it is the most shocking thing you've ever seen, I think you would walk away going, okay, at least it was well made. At least they actually knew what they were doing. The director, I just am so impressed with her. Like I said, I thought Raw was a strong film, but I wasn't shocked or upset or moved by it. This is what I have been waiting for. This reminds me of when I saw Mother in theaters with a crowd full of people as they started walking out during it. But I was just like, wow, they really released an art house weird film to the mainstream and just said, have fun. Just, there's a little fantasy in my head of like some 50-year-old woman going to go see a movie like Titane. I love French films. I've seen Breathless by Godard. I'm ready for this. And seeing this, that's what I want. I want this movie to pure on shock and upset people. I had a good time with it, but I know people are going to be pissed off by this movie. And if you're one of those, let me know down below, because I want to get the full feeling of this. Are you interested in this movie? Have you heard about it? Let me know down below, because we need to talk about this. Alright everyone, that is it for my review of Titane, a new horror, shocking, thriller, I don't know. This movie is crazy, and that is all that you need to know. I want to know, what did you think? What did you think of this review? What do you think of this movie? Comment down below. Subscribe to Flickering Myth, because we make videos like this every single week, and give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy. Alright everyone, let's talk about this wild, wild movie down below.